Council for allowing us to present today. We do have some information on the biometric scanners and cameras that are currently on the market, just some different varieties that are out there, and we'll be going over the different features and functions of each. And if you do have questions throughout this presentation, just go ahead and add them in the chat section. Russ is going to be watching that for us and helping us out with the information as they come in, so we can make sure we get your questions answered at least by the end of the presentation. So, Russ, if you want to switch the camera for me. So a little bit about Schmidt Security Pro, just to get us started. We were founded by William Schmidt back in 1976. He was a former police detective, and since that time we've been providing security solutions to schools, hospitals, financial institutions, industries, and residents in the area. We have grown to a team of over 30 individuals since that time, and our professional team brings over 180 years of combined industry experience. So that's pretty much who we are and what we're all about. And with that, I'm going to kind of get into a little bit more information about the solutions that we're going to be talking about today. So the biometric cameras, as everybody knows, with COVID-19, it has developed a need for managing temperature, face mask compliance, all those types of things within all of our facilities. And so the cameras can measure your temperature, the body temperature, and they can also screen for a face mask. So we do have those set up over here, and Scott is going to help us actually show you how those work. But as I mentioned before, there is a range of different camera options, and so it's really important to kind of identify what you're going to be doing with the camera, how you want to use it, what processes you have in place, where the technology fits in, so you know what the right option is for your facility. And then from there, it's going to be, in your overall safety and security strategy for your facility, where does this fit into the big picture? So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Scott Gilbert here to give us a little bit more information.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having us do this today. This is kind of interesting technology. I'm going to hold this up. Most of you probably know what these are. This is kind of what everybody's been using. So we're actually coming up with a solution that will change that that technology. So let's talk a little bit. I'm going to actually show you two different systems today. We had one, and just until a few weeks ago, we have another system now that's more of a kind of an entry level, but we'll talk about these. So what do you really want the system to do? Do you want it to do basic scanning, temperature and face mask detection, or the other choice is the temperature and face mask detection and actually reporting and tracking? So we're going to I'll show you here in a little bit the difference of the systems that do that. We also we'll talk a little bit about access control. So not only do these systems check your temperature, and if you have a mask on, it also will let you, for some of the bigger companies out there, will let you use this for door access control. We'll kind of show you that a little bit later. Okay. So let's talk about, kind of what are the goals of going to a system like we're going to show you here today. You can actually screen individuals coming into a facility, and we mentioned on here it would be doctors' offices, libraries, government buildings. So it applies to the general public, not keeping attendance. So we're going to show you these machines can be set up to actually detect people that are your employees, or in this case it would be you're just basically checking temperatures of somebody coming off the street that's coming into your facility. Managing your staff and keeping track of information, and that's where these come in, where you're actually verifying that all employees are screened. Provide reports to managers and record keepers, which seems to be very important now. A notification or alerts based on the range of the readings. Integrate the screening of your access control system. You can actually manage your building access based on the biometric information. I'll show you here in a little bit that if you do have a temperature and forgot your mask, if you have actually, I'll show you, here's what we use at Schmidt, and you guys, a lot of you probably use these things, door access controls. It would not let me enter the building or that door that the machine is at. The mitigating risks, HIPAA compliance with monitoring biometric data, so these are HIPAA compliant, ensuring that confidentiality of the confidentiality, sorry, of the data is collected, having a comprehensive process in place, and identify future use of the equipment. So, you know, as we know right now, none of us are sure how long this COVID, you know, how long are we going to have to do this? Who knows? But, you know, we're still thinking this equipment, once it's purchased, the investment is good because you can use it down the road for not only flu season, but the big thing is access control, or if you really want to get a face recognition type system in your business, that would be your future use of the equipment. Next one, Russ. So we're going to talk about, we have, as I mentioned, we have two different scanning units, biometric units. The first one that we're going to show you, I'm going to walk over to it. We call it, it's an entry level, but I don't want you to think it's like really cheap, because it isn't. It's a very, very good system. The difference is going to be from the first one to the second one I show you is reporting. The second one will give you a little more reporting. So we're going to walk over to, we've got a camera set up here, so, but the one I'm showing you now is actually a wrist scanner model.
Verification succeeded. Please check temperature.
Okay, so what I would do then again is I put my face up, and you can see it has a little green.
Verification succeeded. Please check temperature.
And then I put my hand over.
Temperature. Please wear a mask. Verification succeeded.
Okay, so it's telling me that I need to wear a mask. So now I'm going to put a mask on so you can see what the machine says when I'm actually doing what we're supposed to do.
Verification succeeded. Please check temperature. Normal temperature. Please proceed. Verification succeeded. Please check temperature.
So that one, the entry-level one that I just showed you, and hopefully you could hear what it's saying, but it's basically, it's asking, it's verifying your temperature, and it actually asked me if, well, it's telling me I did not have a mask on. So when I put the mask on, it actually allowed me to proceed. So, Russ, you want to go to the next one? Okay, so that one was actually, that was a risk detection system, and it actually measured my thermotemperature. It's going to measure it between 0.2 0.2 seconds, and it's 99% accuracy. And we actually have the ability to set these to according to your ambient temperature that's in your building or where you're going to have these. It actually has an automatic screen for the face mask, as you saw that. And as I mentioned, if it had if I would have had an elevated temperature, it would have told me that, and would actually sent an email or an alert to wherever you want it to go, and it can go to multiple locations. In a school system, for example, it may go to the principal or the nurse. And most of our manufacturing or larger facilities, it's probably going to go to the HR department. They're suited, both of these machines are suited for indoor, high-traffic, commercial, industrial spaces. They do not, or nor do we suggest them being outside. They should always be in a protected area, again, so it can grab that ambient temperature and then tell you what your temperature is. It will hold up to 10,000 photos. So you can actually, on both these machines, you can actually input or actually have your whole company preloaded into the system, so it knows that you know who they are. And again, if you're using it like at a library or something on this one, you don't have to do that. But it's got a feature-rich that wrist temperature detection. It's safe, it's accurate, and it's an efficient tool for the major entry points. Okay, so we're going to talk. The next one is actually the advanced system, and we've Chris Hassman actually has seen this one, and I don't know who else is out there, but may have a couple other folks that have seen this one. And this is one that we're using primarily in industry, maybe some larger companies where you can actually do a lot of recording. You can run reports several times during the day if you've got, 3 shifts of workers or a couple shifts of workers or whatever. So let's talk a little bit about this. This one is it's high performance. It's skin temperature detection and facial recognition. It authenticates users by face, palm, or code. The one that you're going to see today, we have it set up actually as a thermo, so it's reading off of my forehead. It will match up to 50,000 faces in less than 0.3 seconds. So again, if you had there's not any companies in Mansfield that have 50,000 people, but you could have that many. It operates in various levels of lighting, ability to detect, and a protective face mask, which I'll show you. And again, the record keeping is the big part of this. Users can be denied door access. So this is the one that we normally would put in for someone that has door access control. So again, if they have as Schmidt does, if they had our access control badges, if my temperature was higher, I didn't have a mask on, it's not going to allow me to enter the facility. Again, it's 100% touchless. Various applications include, again, access control, time and attendance, visitor management, events management, and more. So I'm going to walk over to this, to our advanced unit here.
Normal temperature. Thank you. Normal temperature.
All right, so I'm going to do it again and try to get this mic up to what it's saying so you guys can see this. But this one is set up so we actually do have to have the a mask on all the time.
Please slightly move forward. Normal temperature. Thank you.
So it gave me the normal temperature, and if you can see Chris standing to my right, she was able to actually open the door, and we have door access on this door. If it would have read my temperature high or would have saw I had a mask, you would not have been able to see the door open. So that's the big difference. And this one is the one again that we normally would suggest for people to have if they really want to do some serious recording of information. I'm going to pass it over to Chris here, and again, we're going to have questions at the end if you have them.
Thanks, Scott. I know that's a lot of information because we do have, quite a different variety in how you can use the systems and the different features of each of them. So I guess overall what we wanted to emphasize was it just really comes down to your plan and how you want to manage the information that you're going to be receiving. If it's strictly for a screening purpose and really not so much as attendance and managing and record keeping, then probably the first entry-level system is more appropriate for your needs because that's what it's intended for, is those areas where maybe it's high traffic, but you know that you do need to do the screening and you're going to have a number of people coming in, but you're not necessarily tying a temperature or any type of information to a specific person. The second one that Scott showed you, that's definitely more robust and has a lot of more record-keeping functionality tied to it, and again can come into the access control and all of that. So again, it goes back to setting goals. What is it that you're going to need for your information, and how are you going to use that to manage what it is that your company is trying to do. So when it comes to an overall comprehensive safety plan, that's kind of what we mentioned at the beginning. How does this all fit together? Well, the goal is to figure out how you're going to manage all these aspects of your building. So we always have a saying here, it's all about levels and layers. So you're going to start with the perimeter of your building and move inward. So as far as the perimeter goes, that's your intrusion, your alarm system, the doors, the windows, the motion detectors, the outside of your building basically. And then the next layer, the next level is your access control, which is, who has permission to enter your building and how are they able to move throughout the facility. So that's where we can set these these thermal scanners, I'm sorry, I can't talk. These thermal scanners to, ensure that people with the right clearance are able to move into the right areas depending on what it is that you're needing to control. We also have then the video intercom systems, which is another way of making sure people are accessing the right parts of the building and who's allowed to enter those areas. Video surveillance would be next, which is, knowing what's happening through video systems, video cameras throughout your facility, even maybe when you're not even there. So it might be after hours or in a part of the facility where maybe nobody's there right now. And then you're going to be able to see what's going on through remote access, those interactive services that you can load on your smartphone or your tablet. So you're always knowing what's happening. You can get those notifications. You can get notifications from the scanners. You can get notifications from your video systems, and you'll have all that insight as to what's happening in your facility. So kind of all this, fits together. That's how Schmidt Security can come in and help you out with it. And if Russ shows you the next slide here, we also are able to provide a demo of this equipment at any time. We can do that here at our facility, so you can see how the access control works and how these things work here in our facility. But we also have the ability to take them to your facility as well. So if you just want to see and touch it and feel it, and have a number of people that want to check it out. So Scott would be the best person to coordinate that for you. So all of his information is here. And I also did want to mention while we're here that, beyond what we're talking about today, if you do have a need for security guard services or fire protection services, background checks, there are other things that we can also do, again, that kind of fit in that whole safety and security program and do it with one-stop shop.